Kulprit Dakota here. Whoa! And it's time for Murs. Have a nice life. For this review, I'm going to have Explosive Diarrhea Dakota help me out on this one. Don't know why. Explosive Diarrhea Dakota. Have you listened to this thing yet?
Oh no! Oh no!
Just jiggle the handle when you come back, okay, buddy? Murs, formerly part of Living Legends, who, if you haven't listened to Living Legends, one of the best underground hip-hop acts I think we've had in the past 15 years or so. Murs is someone that I stumbled onto about 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. I had heard a couple of things he did on video games, SmackDown vs. Raw being one of them, and I believe another one of the Tony Hawk games. I'm not mistaken, and I only discovered that he was a part of Living Legends while researching just some more info about him before this review. And you know, I've always thought Living Legends was dope. I thought Murs' solo stuff was dope, and never really understood why this guy, not this paper, but why Murs is not getting as much shine as he needs. This guy is a sick MC. This is his first solo release on Strange Music Records, which is Tech Nine's record label, and that struck me as odd. But you know, Tech Nine he's always done what he wanted to, and you know, it's either hit or miss, honestly, with Tech Nine. But Tech is I mean, he's a spitter. He's great. So I guess Real recognized Real, and he said, "Come on, my label, and let's go. Let's get you started, buddy." Lyrically, Murs just brings it on this thing. And you know why he is so dope lyrically? You've heard me say it, but let me explain it. Murs is one of the last few good storytellers that we have in the hip-hop game right now. He is eloquent. He can be straightforward without too much profanity, even though he does throw some in there for some flavor, of course. And he's just got some clever one-liners and is very funny, and some of his humor comes through on this album, like on the song Black Girls Be Like, which just talks about how awesome black girls are and all the things that they do. And it's like, can all the black girls say yes, say yes? Also, one of the other songs on here talking about where as long as he has pizza and sex, he's set, and he doesn't need much anything else in life. He's just a really funny guy. But like I said, he's got some really good one-liners on here. Some of the things he says on here: if I buy you a drink, that means you can't afford me. And he talks about, I don't dye my hair because a lot of the people that I knew didn't grow up and they died before they got to reach my age. And also an homage to Kanye on one of the songs where he talks about infidelity, where he says no side chick should have all that power, which was and when he says in one of these songs, a lot of men have arms because they ain't got hands. Oh no, he did! I'm sorry, I'm getting excited about this thing because it's nice to hear, you know, a rapper who can write and rap. I said there's a lot of humor in this thing, but there's so much realness in this, and it's just straightforward, and he is a great storyteller. He paints a lot of vivid portrayals of growing up in the West Coast and some more of the urban and gang-infested areas on this thing. He talks about guns and law enforcement cracking down on people, and he talks about losing his homies and how his father left the family to pursue, or not to pursue, to engage in crack cocaine. Some of his friends who were 11 and 12 years old getting in fist fights with grown men over things, people killing each other over one girl, him skateboarding around the neighborhood, you know, even though it was kind of weird at that time, so he says, for black kids to skateboard. The imagery that is given here kind of reminds you of scenes from like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, like that kind of environment, that kind of life and that hardship. On the song Mi Corazon, where he talks about, you know, how he liked these Latina or Hispanic women in his neighborhood and pursued relationships with them, and there was a lot of conflict because those two cultures really weren't supposed to mesh at that time. He also talks about infidelity, cheating on his wife with this side chick who just has him enticed and entranced at almost every hour of the day and is blowing his phone up. And this is something a lot of rappers wouldn't talk about. One, a lot of rappers wouldn't be married, but then to say, yeah, I've cheated on my wife even though I love her a lot, we've been married for 5 years, this one side chick just is really using me as a marionette and just having me dance in this sick game, and I want to get out, and she brings out the worst in me. Probably the most common theme that runs throughout this whole thing, one of the tracks even being titled this, is PTSD, known as post-traumatic stress syndrome, something which, you know, I've never really heard a rapper talk about, or at least not with the official, you know, medical term, but it's so, you know, it tugs at your heartstrings at times to hear him, relive these moments and explain why he doesn't, you know, like being in certain situations, because it reminds him of things from his past, things that he's gone through and witnessed as a youth that really scarred him mentally. Hey, there you are. You feeling better, buddy?
Oh, Hansel and Gretel. Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord, light a candle, please. It's wafting. It is wafting. But at the same time, he also kind of balances it out with, he talks about, oh yes, this is what I've been through, da-da-da-da, I'm still struggling, but I am still awesome. And I just do music, and I love life, and I try not to let it all affect me. Let's get to the beats on this thing. There's some diverse beats on here, a couple trap influence things like PTSD and Two Step, both really banging songs. There's a little bit of hyphy music in here, of course, being from the West Coast and also being affiliated with someone like E40, you'd have to have that on here. There's some jazz, a little bit of jazz rap influence, and more than anything, just some good old-fashioned hip-hop joints. Piano and bass-centric underground beats, things that Murs can really just shine and soar and just One thing I'd also like to point out and really commend the producers and Murs on doing here is having beat change-ups. A lot of these beats will change a little bit in texture or an instrumentation choice, usually toward the third verse or third chorus, and you know, you get a different feel, you get some different rhythms, and it creates a contrast or a transition into the next track. A lot of these songs, one ends and really flows into the next one well, and leaves you kind of cliffhanging at times, but then resolves that tension in the first verse of the next track. One of them being Woke Up Dead. Where Woke Up Dead goes into PTSD. That is one of the better segues. So overall, this thing is you know, pretty banging. I mean, good content, solid content, very eloquent, very clever with what he's bringing. Good beat selection. You know, I don't know it. You know, no info on the producers has been posted yet, so I'm not sure who did the production on some of this. You know, good features as well. You know, with the exception of that one Ryan Evans sung a hook on the second track, which was kind of bleh. I mean, solid. This thing this is a solid hip hop release. You know, and I can't just call it rap because it's hip hop. It's got the roots of what rap really is, especially what it was in the late 90s and early 2000s, when it was just raw and people still had skill and they weren't just, you know, living that rap life. They were actually being MCs and entertainers and giving some food for thought. I think this all ties together really nicely, and I think it's a really cool title. And you know, Murs talks about all the things he's seen, people being slain in the streets, you know, drug dealing, people killing each other over one girl, relationships and one night stands that he struggled with, and you know, hopping from label to label and not getting the recognition that he feels he deserves, but in the end he still just looks back and says, you know what, I have a dope life and I'm a dope dude. When I first read a few weeks ago that this was on Strange Music and this is the new label that Murs is on, I did kind of, you know, go scratch, huh? But I think that Strange Music is a label that Murs is really going to be able to thrive off of, you know, especially with Strange Music having, you know, a pretty good roster of rappers that are no nonsense and can bring it and put out a solid release. And I think he's just going to I think he's found a pretty good home with Strange Music, and I'm excited to see what success will yield to him with this decision to settle on this imprint. So overall, Murs, Have a Nice Life. To me, this thing is a 4 out of 5 stars. I really encourage anyone who is a hip hop or rap fan to listen to this thing, especially if you like more underground stuff, or if you've enjoyed things from Murs in the past with living legends, or things of that nature. If there's anything else you guys would like me to review, let me know. Check out some of the other reviews on the channel, even though my most recent one kind of got some people upset. But sorry, not sorry, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to do my job here, people. Hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment below if you want me to review anything else. Thank you guys for watching.